guys, it's Kristen, and today we're going to be talking about Degrassi Next Class Season 3. Before we get into the video, it would really mean a lot to me if you guys would click the subscribe button and make sure to click that little bell notification so that you are always updated on when I put out new videos. I have a lot of cool ones coming out this year and I would love for you guys to see them. And if you'd like to check out my Degrassi Season 2 video, I will leave a link to that. So when Season 2 ended, we were left with this big cliffhanger of this bus crash. Was anybody hurt? Is anybody dead? And now that we're in Season 3, they kind of jumped ahead a little bit and we're really just back in the new school year. There are only a few select students who are still really connected to this bus crash. That's Grace and Jonah, who want to do a play around the situation, Tristan and Miles, because Tristan is in a coma, and Maya, who has become very depressed and very obsessed with death. Let's start off with Grace and Jonah. In addition to working on this play with Miles, Jonah is dealing with a very clingy and paranoid girlfriend in Frankie. Frankie just doesn't really know where their relationship is going and she feels very insecure in it, and it's kind of making her do some crazy things, which ends up culminating when Frankie starts spying on him and gets his password and logs into his accounts. But towards the end of this season, it looks like there could be some sparks flying between Grace and Jonah, so maybe that's something that could be explored more in Season 4. In terms of Tristan and Miles, their love and commitment is really tested this season. Tristan is in this coma and could have really bad brain damage, but Miles is still staying by his side. Eventually people start thinking Miles is really depressing because he's just so obsessed with what's going on with Tristan. He eventually finds a confidant in Lola. They become friends. She's the person he can talk to. She really gives him a lot of hope for the future. Their friendship, as would be expected with Miles, ends up turning into something more. But when Tristan finally wakes up, Miles leaves her and his feelings for her behind to be by his side again. I was also pretty impressed by Lyle Latao's performance as Tristan. I don't think it's easy to play someone who has brain damage and has been in a coma. I look forward to see what he's going to do moving forward in this role. I want to get into Maya's storyline, which I think that they handled really well in a number of different ways. First of all, they really showed a difference in Maya's appearance, and I think Degrassi does that really well, where they want to show how someone has changed and they do little tweaks to their appearance to really reflect that. A great example of that is Holly J, who was always very type A, high-strung, and always had her hair slicked back in a tight ponytail. And then eventually, as she came into herself and became nicer, she let her hair down figuratively and literally. For Maya, they got rid of her glasses, her hair was a lot longer, she was wearing a lot darker clothes. I really like this new look that they gave Maya, even though she was changing more negatively in terms of her relationships and personality-wise. Maya has always been a key player in the past few seasons, and so in this season she was really withdrawn and depressed, and I think they really showed that not just in the scenes that she had, but even in the amount of screen time that she had. She was in the show a lot less than she has been before, and I think it just shows how much this team really put into Maya's change after the bus crash. Maya does have this really great mother-sister moment. I was really excited to see Chloe Rose, who played Maya's sister, Katie, come back. You know, it's always great when they bring back some of the older cast members, and I really loved that she really had a purpose for being there. Sometimes I feel like they'll bring back an older cast member, kind of like what they did with the reunion last season. They brought all these people back, but they didn't have a real purpose for being there. They didn't affect the storyline in any way that was meaningful. But Katie, she came back at the perfect time when Maya really needed her. This is when Maya tries to commit suicide. She ends up overdosing on all these different pills and she's foaming at the mouth, and it was a really jarring scene to watch. It brought me back to those older Degrassi moments where they really went there, and I think this is going to be a scene that sticks with people. In addition, we're introduced to some new characters and some other big new topics, like Syrian refugees. One of the Syrian refugees is named Russia, and she's played by Dalia Yagavian. She's more of a modern Muslim girl, and she's best friends with the other Muslim girl in school, Goldie. And I thought it was really cool that we got to see these different representations of what it means to be Muslim. You have Goldie, who's very devout, and she really follows everything that's in the Quran. She doesn't feel like herself if she's not wearing her hijab. She doesn't, you know, want to high-five guys. She's just very, very strict about her religion. And then you have Rasha, who's the complete opposite. She really wants to start a new life, and she doesn't feel comfortable wearing the hijab, and she's a lesbian. And I think that that's really cool that they show these different sides and how they're still Muslim and they're still friends. I think this is something that could be really impactful and helpful to other Muslim teens. I also really liked that Russia became such a big player in the season so quickly. Going off of that, we also follow Zoe and Russia's relationship this season. Zoe comes out of school and everyone accepts her, but when her mom kind of finds out that she is a lesbian, she's not really cool with it. She thinks it's just a phase. It's interesting because everything was going a lot better this season for Zoe, but of course there always needs to be some type of curveball. So Zoe ends up bringing Russia to her mom's wedding, and her mom's not cool with it. She ends up kicking her out of not just the wedding, but of her house in general. So that's gonna be tough. The other new character we met this season was Saad, played by Parham Ronagi. He becomes friends with Maya, and they take a lot of these really dark, death-related photo shoots. But to be honest, I didn't really think that his character added a lot to the story. He didn't really stand out or have a big presence. Maybe in upcoming seasons they'll do more with him and give him a chance to really shine, but I really didn't get the purpose of his character or what he added to the story. There was also a lot of discussion about women and women's rights this season, from slut-shaming to beauty standards to women's bodies and reproductive issues. There's just a lot going on. Periods in general still have such a negative connotation, but I really loved how they were able to take this storyline of Shay accidentally getting her period in class and turn it into this more empowering type of scenario. It also gave me kind of throwback to that time Emma got her period in class and really just like stood up for herself and didn't care. I also thought they did a really good job with Lola's storyline of getting an abortion. They've tackled the abortion storyline on Degrassi before, but I really liked the way that they did it this time. She did research, she looked into it, she wanted to get this done because she didn't feel like she was ready for this, and she felt relieved after she got the abortion. Obviously, nobody wants to have an abortion. People don't take that lightly, but it was interesting to see another story, another take on this situation instead of shaming Lola. Overall, I think Degrassi The Next Class has gotten stronger and stronger with each episode, and what I love about it is that we get 10 episodes in each season, and it looks like, so far, every season comes out within 5 or 6 months. So I predict that we should be getting season 4 around the summertime. And there's a lot of things to be looking out for in this next season, a lot of questions that we need answered. Will Zoe and her mom ever make up? How is Tristan's recovery gonna go, and is Miles really gonna be by his side throughout the whole thing? And what's going to go on with Maya following the suicide attempt? I can't wait to see all these questions and more answered in the upcoming seasons. If you guys have any theories or thoughts about what's going to go on, make sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this season in general. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and click that subscribe button because I come out with new videos every week. See ya!